Hello, everyone, and welcome to the calling. This is John. I'm going to read y'all what I meant to put on here yesterday, but I got busy and I apologize. Um, Yesterday was the day that our Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Um, here is here is John's remembrance of that time, starting in verse chapter 18, verse 33. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Jesus and said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered him, saying, "Sayest, says, you say this thing of thyself, or others tell you?" Pilate answered, "Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence." Pilate therefore said unto him, "Are you a king then?" Jesus answered and said, "Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end I was born. For this cause I came into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth hears my voice." Pilate said to him, "What is the truth?" It's a good question. What is the truth? And Jesus says, He is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay. And Pilate said unto him, this is verse 38, "What is the truth?" And when he said this, he went out again to the Jews and said to them, "I find in him no fault at all. But you have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will you therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews?" Then cried they all again, saying, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Now Barabbas was a robber, so they wanted Barabbas released instead of Jesus, which it goes along with the prophecies. Uh, then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him, and the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe and said, "Hail, King of the Jews." And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again and said to them, "Behold, I bring forth to you this thing you need. Okay. So this is chapter 19, verse 4. The Pilate therefore went forth again and said to them, "Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him." Then came Jesus forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate said unto them, "Behold the man." When the chief priest, therefore, and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, "Crucify him, crucify him." Pilate said unto them, "Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him." The Jews answered him, "We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God." When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again into the judgment hall, and said unto Jesus, Whence art thou? But Jesus gave him no answer. And saith Pilate unto him, Speak thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify you, and have power to release you? Jesus answered, You have no power at all against me, except it were given to you from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. From thenceforth Pilate sought to release him, and the Jews cried out, saying, If you release this man, if you let this man go, you are not Caesar's friend. Whoever makes himself a king speaks against Caesar. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Jesus forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew it's called Gabbatha. And it was the preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he saith unto the Jews, Behold your king. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate saith to them, Shall I crucify your king? Okay, I lost my place there for a minute, hang on. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, We have no king but Caesar. Then delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified, and they took Jesus and led him away. Now the crucifixion of Jesus will be found in Matthew chapter 27, Mark 15, and Luke 23. And he bearing his cross went forth unto the place called the place of the skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and two other with him on either side one, and Jesus in the midst. In other words, Jesus was in the middle, where they crucified him and two other with him, one on either side, and Jesus in the middle. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, and the writing was, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. This title then read, many of the Jews, for the place where Jesus was crucified was high to the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. Then said the chief priest of the Jews to Pilate, Write not the King of the Jews, but that he said, I am King of the Jews. Pilate answered, What I have written, I have written. Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his garments and made 4 parts, to every soldier a part, and also his coat. Now the coat was without seam, woven from the top throughout. And they said, therefore, among themselves, Let us not rend it. In other words, let us not tear it, but cast lots for it. In other words,